All right, let's take one more call. Let's go to Tony in Los Angeles, California. I don't even know what that accent was. I think that accent was my pirate accent. I don't know, man. Sorry, Tony.
It's all good.
This show's getting off the rails today, brother. No, thank you, man. What's up?
Yeah, no, I just want to also shout out your team. You guys have an awesome team over there.
Totally disagree.
And everybody else.
Totally disagree.
Yeah, well, and I also want to shout out Team Fender, just so I have the chance to.
My man.
Hey, Tony, the signal's bad. We can't hear you anymore.
So, yeah, the reason for my call, just to get straight down to it, is I got a buddy who's struggling with alcoholism, hiding it from his wife, denying it when we kind of ask him about it. Blatantly coming to Bible studies that we host on weekends. He's come at least one time last week, definitely under the influence, and then noticed that he's came to other like softball games kind of under the influence, but is totally just, no, I'm fine. Knows he struggled with it in the past, but he just doesn't want to basically admit that he's been under the influence. And then recently we've had to deny some of our friends with driving with him because we're just not sure, hey, is he going to be, capable of driving? And some of our family friends who have kids, because he has, granddaughters, and we're like, hey, we just want to let you guys know this is the situation. And I've called him the days after just to kind of say, love on him and say, hey, man, I just want to make sure everything's okay.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on? Is there something we can come alongside you? And he's just like, no, everything's great. Pie in the sky. My marriage is doing great, which, unfortunately we know that it is a little rocky, obviously, because of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And we just want to know the right steps. We don't want to come out attacking. We just want to be able to love on him and bridge those gaps, like as a community, to kind of walk alongside him with this.
Well, I appreciate your heart, brother, and appreciate you wanting to do this right. And these are messy. Friendships are hard, especially when your friends are hurting. How long have you been in a relationship with this dude? How long have y'all been buddies?
So we've known each other for more than probably about 5-6 years.
Okay. Is his wife part of the gang too?
She is, yeah. So we're all we have a really tight family group community.
Mm-hmm.
We some of us go to separate churches, but we do try to meet once a week for our study, and then also once a month to do a park day with all their kids and our families, and we just try to have that community aspect for getting out there doing things. And so we're in each other's lives a lot.
Yeah.
Some of us more than others, because some of us, the age gap is different. Me and my wife are in our 30s. This Mike and his wife are in their late 50s, but we're all kind of still living life together.
So this is a dude who's almost 60 years old who's struggling?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So this is going to be hard because he looks at you like his kid.
Right.
And he looks at you like a little whippersnapper that he's helping through life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man.
And he's come to me and the guys before telling us that he had a struggle with this, and it was pretty vague. It was probably a few months ago. He's like, yeah, I struggle with drinking. Me and my wife kind of know that we need to step back on it a little bit. I feel like I have to hide it, but then sometimes we go out and have drinks together. So we never really got like a clear-cut answer if he was looking for sobriety or if he was just trying to not drink as much. And we just never really got a clear definition. Even I asked some of the guys, and they didn't really understand what that kind of meeting was about either, what he was trying to ask of us.
Yeah, so I'm going to answer this, dude. This isn't always the right answer in this situation. Addiction is really tricky. I'm going to answer this as though he was my friend, okay? And I have a reputation with my friends that I will lean directly into hard conversations, okay? And I've got friends who do the same thing for me. I've got friends that are years and years, whether it's Craig or Trevor or John or Todd, guys that I've known for years, and they will say, hey, I remember my buddy Kevin said, I made a joke about my wife. This is 10 years ago. And he said, hey, just for the record, never again. Right? And he's still a close buddy, right? So that's the kind of community I run with. And so a guy like this you've been friends with for 5 or 6 years, this is a guy that I'm going to take out, and I'm going to take him with a couple of us. and we're going to tell them, hey, we're not asking anymore. We know that you're struggling, and we're here to be a part of this solution. We're here to help any way that we can, but we're not going to let you put people in harm's way anymore. And we're going to ask you, if you're drunk, don't come to church, right? Don't come out to the softball fields if you're drunk. We really want you here. And here's the thing, you and your buddies are going to have to know, Tony, this is bigger than you. This isn't something that y'all can solve and fix. And so he needs to go to meetings, and he needs to make a decision that he's going to go get well. So this is a matter of y'all walking alongside him, calling it out, shining a light on this thing, and then saying, we'll be here to walk with you, brother, but also here are our boundaries for being safe. I would never cut a friend out of my life unless it got to the point that they were unsafe, they were being off color, or they were being ugly, and you know what I mean? But I will draw boundaries around certain things. So there are some friends in my life who I love more than life itself, but I don't have them around my kids. Not because I'm going to think they're going to abuse them or anything, but they run their mouth and they talk trash around. I don't want them around my kids. And I love them, dude. They're hilarious. They're fun. And they actually know. I will tell them, hey, if you're going to keep talking like that, dude, I'm not going to let you around my kids. And they say, I know, man. Sorry, dude. I'm not going to change it. And that's cool. We're still friends. But here's my boundary. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
And if I've got a buddy who's in recovery, if I got a buddy who's struggling with alcohol, after the game, I'm going to be, again, this is how I handle these things. I'm not going to order a beer. I'm going to be a person of hospitality. I'm going to make sure that that guy has at least one person at the table not drinking. And if he does order a beer, I'm going to say, don't do that, man. Not tonight. And I do that, and if I know a buddy is really working out hard on his nutrition, and I see him, I'll say, not today, man, and just keep walking. And they'll go, I know. And I do that because I've got people in my life who do it for me. And it's just a way of, if somebody doesn't invite me to that, though, I don't walk up to some rando in the cafeteria here at Ramsey, and I'm like, oh, wow, Rice Krispie treat, huh? I don't do that, man. They didn't invite me into that conversation. But it sounds like this cat has invited you in. He is a part of your life, relationally and otherwise. And so as far as I'm concerned, you have an obligation to tell him the truth, and you do it with the idea towards helping him be well, and you can only be well in relationship, right?
Right.
And so that's how I'm handling that, dude. We're all going to lunch one night, or we're all going to get breakfast one day, and nobody orders. Well, some people order drinks at breakfast. James. Yeah. Some people order drinks at breakfast, but go get breakfast, and then y'all have that conversation. Say, hey, we're worried about you. We know this is a thing. In our group, we don't lie to our wives. We just don't. We don't hide crap from each other. We tell the truth. Clearly, you're struggling with alcohol. How can we help? And let him opt out. Does that sound right?
That sounds great.
Cool. I would, as cheesy as this sounds, I'd probably pregame it with my buddies. I'd probably get 2 or 3 guys and say, hey, we're going to all go out. And more than that, then it feels like an intervention, like one of those TV shows. But 2 or 3 guys, and I would talk about it before you go. Hey, I'm going to do the talking, or you do the talking, or let's set this up in this way. But that way, there's not all that weird, awkward, and then there's always one idiot that pops off with something dumb. Like, oh, yeah, and whatever. I struggle with, it's not about y'all's struggles. It's about, hey, brother, we see that you're hurting, and how can we love you? So I appreciate your heart, Tony, even though you don't know what makes a good guitar. I appreciate your heart, and the world needs more people like you who want to lean into their friends' lives and love on them a little bit better. And again, man, addiction's hard. He may explode. He may start crying. He may say, y'all are stupid idiots, and just leave. Understand that that's his choice to make. Let him know that he's loved. Never stop pursuing him, but also don't give him carte blanche to run all over everything. Make sure you've got firm boundaries there, right? Thank you for your heart, Brother Tony.